we mustn't distrust the human heart. No, it is only to say that we must remain in control of our hearts. Now, when we say we shouldn't distrust the heart, it also doesn't mean we should be naive. We need to be properly aware of what lust does in the human heart, how men experience lust, how women experience lust, and how it wounds us. Let's take a deeper look. 2D. Lust and shame touch the innermost being of both the male and the female personality, even though in a different way. What are the differences? How are we to look at this? Now, obviously, I'm speaking as a male here. So, ladies, please chime in if you think I'm not saying anything proper here about the way perhaps women experience lust. But I once saw a greeting card, somebody mailed it to me, they knew I'd get a kick out of it, that I thought summarized pretty well the differences of the male and female personality here and how lust has twisted things up. It was a picture of a teenage boy and a teenage girl, and actually the girl was on top, and the girl was standing like this, and her eyes were kind of sparkly, and it said, "Prince Charming." And then below, it had the picture of this teenage boy with his eyes just bugging out, and it said, "Boobies." And at the bottom, it said, "Where all the trouble begins." I think it's very telling. Maybe we've heard the expression, and I think it holds true for the most part, that men will use love in order to get sex, and women will use sex in order to feel loved. Perhaps the man has a more physical orientation in his lusts. Perhaps a woman has a more emotional orientation in her lusts. Men typically do not read romance novels. Women typically do not look at the kind of porn that men look at. There's something different here. Now, it doesn't mean that we are inherently corrupt. It doesn't mean that we're utterly depraved. It means something good has gotten twisted, and it needs to be untwisted. And if we're looking at our hearts and we're recognizing how twisted up we've become, remember God's mercy. This is precisely why Christ came into the world. We've all run out of wine, but Christ came to restore the wine in superabundance. 2E. If lust and domination prevail in the man, the desires that the woman directs towards him can assume and do assume an analogous character. And perhaps at times, the woman's desire precedes the man's desire and even aim to arouse the man's desire. What do you think we're getting at here? It seems to me, especially in the 20th century, women have kind of concluded, if you can't beat them, join them. And women are trained and groomed to use their feminine beauty to arouse the lust of men, and in doing so, to manipulate the men for their own selfish ends. This is not love. Nor is the man using the woman love. In fact, gentlemen, we have a particular responsibility here, the Pope says. In what way? 2F. The man ought to have been, from the beginning, the guardian of this gift between male and female, the guardian of that true balance of the gift. The Pope adds here, now, although maintaining the balance of the gift seems to have been entrusted to both the man and the woman, here the man has a special responsibility, as if it depended more on him whether this balance is kept or violated, or, if it's already been violated, if this balance is reestablished. It's up to us in a particular way, gentlemen. Why? Because we are the initiators of the gift. What do I mean by that? I don't think it's merely cultural conditioning that men propose marriage to women. Ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't you prefer to be proposed to as a woman rather than to have you propose marriage to a man? I think this says something about the way we're wired. Men are wired to initiate this gift, which means, gentlemen, we have a special responsibility. We better be darn sure that the gift we initiate is one of love. Because if it isn't, if we don't remember Zakar, remember that? If we don't remember God's love to the woman, what will she do? She will close. Women have antenna for recognizing whether the gift of the man is sincere or not. This corruption, this distortion of desire in both the male and the female has caused a terrible corruption of the spousal meaning of the body. Look at those bullets at the bottom of 36. Lust extorts the gift and becomes, in a way, the antithesis of the gift. And in this way, lust involves a limitation, a violation, or a complete deformation of the spousal meaning of the body. In other words, we come to lose sight of the true meaning of the body as a sign pointing us to love as God loves. And we zoom in merely on the physical reality to gratify ourselves. We have failed to see the spiritual mystery to which the body points.